as it is at the moment, the issues that you have just enumerated here, well, the issue of vices, crime and all that, and of terrorism in the north, we still have them now. So what you're saying essentially is that it's bound to even escalate, bad as it is. Well, for the lawyer, Mr. Ikeji, I want to know, is it possible for the courts to actually stop an economic policy like this if the NBA actually carries out its threat to go to court?
Absolutely, absolutely. Section 6 of the 1999 Constitution has empowered our courts to hear any matter between any person or government or authority of whatsoever nomenclature. Whatever goes to the contrary is anti-constitutional, is unconstitutional and null and void. And I want to make reference to Section 48 of the CBN Act that has clearly protected the CBN and the president from legal action in respect of any monetary policy that they have brought out. And that they may want to hide under that section. But I can say that that section is contrary to Section 6, sub 6 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which says that the courts have unlimited power to hear any matter whatsoever. However, my fear there is the principle of local standard, and that is where we need activist judges, an activist judiciary, a honest judiciary to stand up to the challenges of the present situation and say no to corruption and say no to wrong things that are happening in society. Because the principle of local standard, let me explain it to you. It asks you, do you have an interest over and above that of normal people that you are coming out to complain? So if I go to court, for example, now and want to oppose the 5,000 naira note, the court will ask me what special interest do I have, and because of that, you find a lot of these public interest cases going down the drain and dying a natural death. That is why we are calling on the courts, on the judges, to stand up and take the bull by the horn and discard this principle of local standard. NBA has said it that they can go to court. What I want NBA to do is to be proactive in fighting for us to erase the principle of local standard from our laws. That principle is a clog on the wheel of justice. So, answering your question, I can go to court. I will go to court. People should go to court and ask the court to review that policy. In fact, there are avalanche of cases that have heard that the judiciary can effectively go into what the legislature or the executive is doing and quash them where they discover that they are unconstitutional. In America, for example, the case of Madison and Marbury has held that the judge can come in and say that a legislative act and by extension an executive act is unconstitutional and therefore null and void, and so declare it, and so it stands. So we all call on the judiciary to take up that stand and allow us access to this judicial
yeah, but I mean, from the way you're sounding, it's as if you actually are very skeptical about winning a case like this in court.
Yes, I'm very skeptical. I have been involved in a lot of public interest litigations that are actually in the interest of the masses, but it gets the challenge, the obstacle of this local standard, and the courts wash their hands off things that even in their own personal opinions they should intervene, but because of that principle of local standard they refuse to intervene, and it's always stopping at the high court level. We are looking for an opportunity for the Supreme Court to enter into the fray in these circumstances and once and for all be done away. Let local standard be done away with. Beyond that principle of local standard, I think there's a veritable opportunity for all well-meaning Nigerians presently to approach the court and ask the CBN government, the CBN governor, to hold on with his proposal to introduce this new 5,000 naira note and the coins that are also following it, and ask the president to come in and allow the National Assembly to investigate the propriety or otherwise of the proposal.
All right, quickly, let's take a look at what the people's elected representatives at the National Assembly are saying. They did not appear pleased with the CBN governor's announcement as well, and the Senate has asked the governor of the central bank, Sanusi Lamido, to, as a matter of urgency, stop the proposed introduction of the 5,000 naira denomination. Of course, the House of Representatives have also waded in, and one after the other, let's hear what this House of Representatives and the Senate are saying about this matter.
The House Committee will invite the management of the central bank in an effort for the committee to know whether the central bank is still pursuing the cashless policy. And if they are, how does this higher currency note complement the cashless policy? Or if it contradicts the cashless policy, what are the next steps? We believe that the Nigerian people deserve to know whether there is a short, mid-term, and long-term strategy that will bring any benefits to the system as a result of this introduction. The intervention of the House is to ensure that due process is followed and the rule of law adhered to. We assure you that we will also be mindful of the effect of this or any other banking policy on the ordinary Nigerian. The following factors will thus be key to our consideration: cost of implementing the policy to government, the inflationary trend, devaluation implication, and cashless policy derivatives, etc. We will keep an open mind while engaging the bank management to have a full picture and understanding of the thinking at the central bank and the reasons for this action.
This type of action is only taken where there is a major currency crisis. And central bank must be careful in order not to send a wrong signal or message to households, domestic sector, and even the external one, that the Nigerian currency is valueless, which I believe it is definitely not. And that for every unit of value, they need to carry a large quantity of cash. The CBN in 2008 and 2009 came up with a proposal to redenominate the currency. That was even to take off the zeros. This was just 2008, 2009. And here we are in 2012. We are seeing a kind of a policy somersault, even though we understand the dynamics of the sector very well. I believe that we have to be well briefed on this. And also in 2005, the CBN undertook a major currency restructuring, which ran into billions. Till date, a proper value assessment has not been done to know its cost to the Nigerian taxpayers and the extent of the benefits.
Well, then you've heard from the elected representatives of the people, both the House of Representatives and the Senate, on this matter. Now, quickly, I mean, our time is already fast spent. Maybe we should have heard this long before now. When it came to the issue of redenominating the naira back in 2008, and of course it was the reverse in this case, and I'm sure the House of Representatives and the Senate stepped in. Is it possible for them to do that now? I mean, from the feelers we're getting from the two legislators.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, well, the spokesman of the Senate, the distinguished senator, was saying that we should not, at this particular juncture, send a wrong signal that the basket of currency that Nigeria is having is not a true reflection of the size of the robustness of the economy. So basically we're talking about post-structural adjustment program with this laissez-faire economy that has put the private sector at the forefront. Is it translating itself into a robust economy that is anti-inflationary? The answer is that it's not.
All right.
And as a consequence of that, now you are beginning to introduce more higher denominations.
All right, final word, Mr. AKG.
Well, this kind of policy has been tried in several countries in Latin America: Nicaragua, Peru, Bolivia, Argentina, and so on. They were all failures. In Africa, we have the example of Angola, Zaire, Zimbabwe. They were all failures. In Europe, we had Russia, Poland. They were all failures. These are historical facts, available empirical facts that are available for us to scrutinize. So my point here, my final word would be that the National Assembly should step hard on the ground and insist that the CBN should convince them, and they, to the National Assembly on their own, too, should also convince the people of the necessity of introducing 5,000 naira notes and the coins. Let us not lose faith of that coins.